What's up, everyone? It's me, your boy Ryan, aka Clutch Sports Talk. Happy Wednesday. Got a great show in store for you guys today. So sit back and relax and enjoy the show. It's Clutch Sports Talk with me, Ryan Flowers. Let's go. Welcome in. Happy Wednesday to you guys again. It's Thanksgiving Day Eve. Hope you got your turkey, your ham, your stuffing, all the essentials that you need for Thanksgiving tomorrow. Got some football to talk about today. We got NBA, college football, and then I want to talk to you guys a little bit about my most memorable Thanksgiving Day sporting moment. But before I get into all that, this is Clutch Sports Talk with me, Ryan Flowers, presented by All Pro Digital Sports, the future in sports media content. Happy to bring you guys another episode. I'm a little early today. I got stuff I got to take care of later on this evening, so I had to hop on the live a little bit earlier. But thank you for those who are in the live right now. I appreciate it. Make sure you drop a comment. Make sure you follow me on YouTube as well. Go look up the All Pro Digital YouTube page. Hit us up there as well. Leave a like, comment, share. Notify yourself when we go live with all the rest of this All Pro Digital talent. So got a great show in store for you guys today, man. So other than that, let's just get straight into it. So the first thing I want to talk about today is the Lakers, the NBA. A lot of offseason movement going on in Lakerland. A lot of Laker fans like myself, we're extremely excited about the season, which will be starting, I believe, December 22nd, if I'm not mistaken. So the Lakers have done a lot. Now, they've lost a few players. Dwight Howard signed with the 76ers. Rondo signed with the Atlanta Hawks. We traded JaVale McGee to the Cleveland Cavaliers, but we've also brought in return Marc Gasol. We brought him in, Pau Gasol's younger brother. He's going to be playing for us. We got Wesley Matthews, who's coming over from the Bucks. He's going to be on our team. Obviously, we traded for Dennis Schroeder about a week or two ago. So very exciting about the prospects of what's going on with LeBron. Now, does this team stack up better than the team from last year? I would have to say yes. I feel like now they've gotten a little bit more athletic and younger in certain positions. Now, I do kind of feel concerned a little bit about our big men. Like right now, Anthony Davis and Marc Gasol are our two most formidable big men in our lineup right now. Now, JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard played a tremendous role in the championship team from last season in the bubble. Their rim protection was just outstanding. When we were able to play big, they were really big. And it helped our defense out tremendously. Now, Marc Gasol is not a bad defensive player, but he's not the rim protector like JaVale McGee or Dwight Howard. Now, we are losing Rondo as well, like I mentioned before, who's going on with the Atlanta Hawks. Dennis Schroeder should probably be able to pick up the slack from there. But now it really allows LeBron to be the point forward in this offense now. But what we do lack, or what we do miss from Rondo, is the leadership and that championship pedigree. Now, we're going to see how that plays out with the full season. It's only going to be, I think, 72 games, which is a lot. I mean, traditionally, the NBA season is only about 82 games anyway, so they just shaved 10 games off. But I'm really concerned about the middle. But I think with Anthony Davis and Marc Gasol, and there might be some other guys out there on the free market, on the free agency block that we might be able to go pick up. But overall, Pelinka has done a great job. Pelinka, I know he was hired by the Lakers. A lot of people kind of scoffed and laughed and was like, well, who is this guy? And then we found out that he was Kobe Bryant's agent. And they're like, well, how is that going to work? And, his first year was rough a little bit, him and Magic. They ended up getting Lonzo Ball in the draft, and Magic made the whole statement about Lonzo being retired in the Raptors as one of the Laker legends. And now Lonzo's not even in LA anymore. He's in New Orleans with the Pelicans. So, and then Magic has departed. But one thing I will say with Magic and Pelinka there, they were able to bring LeBron to the Lakerland, and they ended up getting a championship. Now, Magic did, step down, and Pelinka took over the rest of the way and ended up winning a championship. But Pelinka is making some moves, especially in this shortened free agency period. Like I said, they got Wesley Matthews, Marc Gasol. Oh, I even got to mention Montrezl Harrell. They stole him from the Clippers, and it's reported that the Clippers didn't even really think that they wanted to extend an offer to Montrezl Harrell. So we have him now. So I'm not afraid of our defense overall. I like that extra rim protection that JaVale and Dwight had provided, especially in the bubble. But, Alex Caruso stepped out. Kuzma is going to have to step it up a little bit more now because they got a championship, and maybe that boosts his confidence up. So we'll have to wait and see. So thank you for all of those who are in the live right now. Make sure you leave a comment. Let me know what you guys are thinking. What's on the menu for tomorrow so I can stop by your house if I got to get on the private jet real quick, fly over. Oh, sorry about COVID. Maybe you don't want me over, but let me know what you guys are thinking about Lakerland right now. Have they gotten better? I think they have. I think they've gotten better. I think they're going to make another run. I think they're going to repeat. I mean, that's just my sentiments on that. But let me know what you guys think in the comment sections below. Again, happy Wednesday. Happy Thanksgiving Day Eve. Got a lot to talk about with you guys today, but Laker fans are definitely excited. I will say that. But all right, let's get going here. So the next topic I want to talk about today, Monday Night Football. So that was a battle between Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the LA Rams. Now, it was a highly touted matchup, especially the weekend that we had in football, especially NFL football. The Sunday night game was tremendous. That everybody was excited to see Tom Brady versus the Jared Goff and the LA Rams in a Monday night matchup, a key matchup to kind of see, well, who's where in the NFC. Now, the game it started off, kind of back and forth a little bit, but then after a while, the LA Rams were clearly the better team. And one thing of note that you have to kind of think about is Tom Brady looked old, man. I think he's 42, 43 years old. He looked all of that Monday night. He was terrible. They got to him as expected with Aaron Donald and Michael Brockers. They brought pressure. They brought tremendous pressure, and they forced him into some throws that, characteristically weren't Tom Brady like as throws, but he's been turning the ball over a lot since he's moved down to South Florida in Tampa Bay. But here are some things that you have to consider with Tom Brady. Can he still carry a team at this age? Watching that game Monday night, I said no. And here are the reasons why. Number one, he's not that guy anymore. Now, that's part of the reason why he probably left New England, because not only does he probably think he's not the guy to do that anymore, they don't have the talent that Tampa Bay does. Tampa Bay, for whatever it's worth, they are 7-4 now. That's pretty darn good, considering that this team has been basically walking through a nightmare of an organization since winning that Super Bowl years ago with John Gruden. And here they are now at 7-4. They were considered to be one of the best teams in the NFC. And now here they are still kind of duking it out for a playoff spot. But now I think they're starting to come back down to basically to level playing field with a lot of other teams in the NFC, which was proven on Monday night. Now, the Rams aren't an overly excited team, but I will say this. The Rams are a low-key. They have the most underrated wide receiving core, low-key, in all of football, all the NFL football, because you don't think about guys like Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods, doing their thing. But they have a nice offensive system. Sean McVay is a hell of a coach, and Tom Brady just wasn't up to snuff. He's not that guy anymore. And he's still good enough to get you 7, 9, 10 wins probably in the NFL, but he's not the same Tom Brady that's going to be able to slug it out with other perennial quarterbacks in the NFL. Because here's the thing. Jared Goff is not like one of the most premier quarterbacks in the NFL. I mean, let's just be honest. And if you think differently, please leave a comment in the comment section below. I'll make sure I'll get to that. Jared Goff is not a premier quarterback. To me, I feel like he's more of a system quarterback. He's not the type of quarterback that's going to go out and win you a lot of games. Now, he had to go out and win that game Monday night against Tampa Bay because they were stopping and slowing down their run. And traditionally, we all know that the Rams like to run the ball. They like zone runs. They like to move the pocket. They like play action. But because they were not able to do so, Jared Goff had to do his thing. And he threw for over 300 yards, which is something that he's not – I'm not saying he can't do. He's capable of doing it. But it's something that he's not you don't think about him doing all the time. Like the last game that I can think about him going out and actually winning was that Rams-Chiefs matchup a few years ago. I think it was about 2 years ago where they just duked it out in the Coliseum. That was a Jared Goff that we have not seen in quite some time. And I think on Monday night, that's what we were able to see. So Tom Brady isn't that guy anymore. He's still good enough to get you wins in the NFL because obviously Tampa Bay is a lot better off now. But I don't know now if going into this last month of the season, which is very important in the NFL, we all know that going into the last month of the NFL season is very crucial. Why? Because you want to be playing your best football as you go into the playoffs. And I'm going to get to my top 4 teams later on in the show in just a few segments here, but I just want to leave you guys with that. But Tom Brady, man, I don't know if he's the guy anymore. You guys have to let me know in your comments. You think he is? Tell me why. Tell me why you think he's still the guy. I know there's a lot of Brady fans out there, but I just don't see it anymore. So staying with quarterbacks, what is wrong with Carson Wentz? Now, this guy was drafted number 1 or highly picked from North Dakota State. He had all the potential, all the talent in the world. In 2017, he had put together a tremendous season. Then he ended up getting hurt against the Rams. And, in the end, they ended up winning a Super Bowl, but he missed out on an MVP season. Here's what I think about Carson Wentz. I think that psychologically, he was damaged by that 2017 Super Bowl championship team. Nick Foles came in with the magic and was able to carry that team and finish them and help them finish off a tremendous season by beating New England Patriots in the Super Bowl. Now, when I say psychologically, I feel like he is still pressing. I still think he believes that a lot of people don't really value him as a very good quarterback in the NFL, and rightfully so. He hasn't been playing well in the last couple seasons. He's been hurt, and particularly this year, he has not looked good at all. Now, he had some games or two where he looked pretty decent, but for the most part, he is not looking like the quarterback from 2017, and I think he's trying to get back to that particular spot, but he's not able to get there. He's holding on to the ball longer than he has to, or he's making the throw that he doesn't need to make. He's waiting for that one actual big play to maybe get him going, but it never happens. And Philadelphia is in a very precarious situation because they signed him to a lot of money, and they let Nick Foles go. They let him walk to Jacksonville. And now Nick Foles really isn't doing that much either. I mean, he just got benched in Chicago. Nick Foles is a traditional, backup quarterback. Like, he's nothing more than that. He's been on several teams, so we just know that. But they chose him because he's younger and he was a high draft pick. And now Carson Wentz just can't seem to get it done. And now a lot of people are calling for his head. They're looking for Jalen Hurts to get the start. Doug Peterson is getting all flustered on Philadelphia radio. He's being challenged. My thoughts on what they probably need to do. Well, number one, with the coaching, for all the mistakes that he has made, are they really getting on him? Are they really in the film room or the coach's room or whatever? Are they really getting at him? Are they really saying, hey, man, you need to cut that out? Like, what are you doing? Like, I feel like maybe they're babying a little bit too much, and they're just expecting him to just kind of like wake up one day and turn it on. One thing with Philadelphia is that they won that Super Bowl, and they're still living it up. You got guys writing book deals. They're still doing this whole chip on the shoulder. Let's be honest, Philadelphia. You guys had a great run that year. It's over. Move on. You guys won the Super Bowl. Congratulations, but that's done. 2017 is long in the past, and Carson Wentz is not the quarterback of the future for the Philadelphia Eagles. Why? Because he's not getting it. I feel like now Dak Prescott, even though Dak Prescott is hurt, Dak Prescott has surpassed him. Dak Prescott is a much better quarterback than Carson Wentz. Number one, with barring now with the injury to Dak Prescott, but prior to that, Dak Prescott does not get injured. Dak Prescott actually protects the football. Now, I'm not saying Carson Wentz is not a good quarterback, but he probably needs to be rebooted, whether it's there in Philadelphia or he moves on to another team. But the problem with that is that he's still under contract for several years, and Philadelphia is going to have to bite that pill and say, you know what, do we keep the guy and bench him and maybe he figures it out? Or do we need to start looking to the future and possibly drafting another quarterback here in this next upcoming draft or drafts in the future? But does Jalen Hurts need to get a shot? Absolutely. Absolutely. If anything, it'll send a message to Carson Wentz like, hey, your seat at the table is not guaranteed. You need to show us that you can play better. And he hasn't been doing that lately. So Carson Wentz, Philadelphia Eagles, you guys are going to have to figure it out, man. You guys are going to have to see what you're going to do with him. But it doesn't look good for him right now. Staying in the NFL, man, I thought long and hard about doing this segment because I don't like the Raiders. I don't. Everyone knows I don't like the Raiders. But I have to give credit where credit's due. As Al Davis would say, just win, baby. Are the Raiders for real? Yes, they are for real. If you're a Raider fan, if you're part of Raider Nation right now, you should be very excited. Why? Because your team is playing excellent football right now. I mean, I know they just lost to Kansas City, and that's a tough loss, and their defense kind of gave it up in the end. But the fact of the matter is that they were actually able to go toe to toe with the Super Bowl champs. And by all means, partly and large, they outplayed the Kansas City Chiefs that whole entire game for the most part. John Gruden is having a great year. Derek Carr is having a sensational year. Their offense can compete with any offense in the National Football League. It's going to come down to their defense. And can their young secondary pick up the slack? But the Raiders are definitely in the hunt. Now, Kansas City doesn't, I mean, as it states right now, I think Pittsburgh is number 1, Kansas City is number 2, and the Raiders are at the 7th seed right now. Or the 6th or 7th seed, I'm not mistaken. But all I know is that if the playoffs started today, Kansas City would have to host a game against the Las Vegas Raiders, and they're not trying to do that. For some reason, the Raiders have their number. The Raiders make them look inadequate. Now, their D-line is playing really well. Rod Marinelli is coming from the Cowboys. He's brought that motivation, that coaching technique, that drive. He's brought that there. But like I said, the offense looks great, and the Raiders are for real. The Raiders can compete with any team in the NFL today, and that really, really is hard for me to say. It really is. So, sorry, but the Raiders are for real. And if you don't think so, you got to put on the tape, man. And if you put on the tape, you need to have your eyes open. What they're doing on offense, it's a blend of old school, hard-nosed, running the football, and new school with the jet sweeps and all of the different type of West Coast nuances that they're able to do. Derek Carr is protecting the ball. You don't hear a lot about Derek Carr just because he's a quiet dude. He just doesn't get the publicity as he should. Now, he hasn't always played the best, but I think right now he's playing some of the best football in all of his career. So kudos to him. Kudos to the Raiders organization. It's tough moving from one city to another city, especially during a pandemic, and they're still able to go out and win pretty convincingly and battle with the Kansas City Chiefs. Now they split the season series now. So now they're, I think they're 1-1 now. So, but like I said, again, if the Kansas City Chiefs were to host a playoff game today, they would be playing the Raiders, and they don't want to see that. And I don't know why. I mean, that game to me, when I watched that game Sunday night, you have to start thinking back. You're looking at Patrick Mahomes and Derek Carr. You would say, oh, easily Patrick Mahomes. And in the end, Patrick Mahomes made a great play, a great read, and he found Kelsey in the middle of the end zone to win that game. But Derek Carr was right there with him. Throw for throw. So if you're a Raider fan, you're waking up today or you're enjoying your turkey tomorrow, you're like, you know what? I got a damn good football team, man. Like, we're going to be all right. And I think the future is bright for them. I think the future is bright. I think, they just got to say they got to bolster their defense up. And I think once they bolster that up, they'll be just fine. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Are the Raiders for real, man? Let me know if the Raiders are for real. Are they? I'm telling you are. And it's hard for me to say that. It's hard for me to say that the Raiders are for real, but I got to give credit where credit's due, But moving on, I'm going to talk about the slate of games that are going to be played tomorrow for Thanksgiving Day. Now, one game of note was postponed till Sunday. That's the matchup between the Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers. That game has been postponed, apparently to COVID issues. So I don't know the full extent of what's going on with that, but they're definitely they're out of commission right until Sunday. So the other two games I'll break down: Houston versus Detroit. Houston's coming off a really good win against the New England Patriots at home last week. Deshaun Watson looked like a beast out there. He was the man, running over people, making throws, being a playmaker. Detroit Lions coming off of a woeful performance against P.J. Walker and the Carolina Panthers, where they got blanked. I believe they got shut out. I think it's like 26-0 or 20-0. Now, both organizations are not going to make the playoffs. Let's just be real. I got some Detroit friends, who follow the Lions, and they're part of the Lion faithful. But let's just be real. No one's going to watch that game in the morning. They're just not. First of all, it's too early. I wouldn't say it's too early on the West Coast, but there's no star power outside of Deshaun Watson. That's it. There's no other star power. Both teams are not competing. If I had to pick, I think Houston will win that game because lately the Lions have not been good on Thanksgiving Day. Hell, they haven't been good on any other day of the week. And I'm not just talking trash. It is what it is, because I'm going to get to my team here next. But the Lions, to me, need to move off from Matt Patricia. We keep saying that week in, week in and week out. I don't think he was a great fit to begin with. He's one of those other, Bill Belichick assistants who moved on and just hasn't had the success that you would think. And then you look at Houston on the other end. They fire their coach. They trade off one of their best players in DeAndre Hopkins, really, for a washing machine and 2 tickets to, I don't know, to Bahama Mama somewhere. I don't know. But basically, they gave him up for nothing, right? And now Deshaun Watson's just left with a shell of a wide receiving core, an offensive line, and an over-the-hill J.J. Watt, who probably should have been traded at the trade deadline. So what is there really to watch? Other than if you really love football, you're going to watch it. I'll watch the game, but I'm not like, oh, man, let me turn on Houston and Detroit. Let's just be honest. And if you think different, let me know in the comments, man. Let me know in the comments. Let me know what you guys are thinking, because, I mean, who really cares about that game tomorrow, to be honest with you? I really don't. Now, the only other game that's left now, which I'm not going to say this is even more exciting, but there's more storylines. These 2 teams are duking it out for the division lead of the NFC East, which, okay, I get it. The NFC East isn't the best division. I understand that. But they're still vying for a playoff spot. There's more star power in this game. You got, the defensive line of the Washington football team versus the offensive line of the Dallas Cowboys. You got CeeDee Lamb. You got Michael Gallup, Amari Cooper. You got Ezekiel Elliott. You got stars and sensational players on both sides of the football. This is a very critical game for both teams. If Dallas wins, Dallas moves into first place. And I believe if the Washington football team wins, they move into first place. So a lot of storylines there. This game is going to come down to the offensive line and defensive line. Who can win the battles up front? That's what it's going to boil down to. Will Zeke be able to run? I know in their previous meeting earlier this year, he wasn't able to do anything. They knocked Andy Dalton out of this game. He's probably going to be out looking for revenge. So I'm expecting Andy Dalton to be ready to go. He's got a full game under his belt now as a starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. It's a short week, and they had this. They weren't able to practice, I believe, yesterday due to some type of medical emergency with one of the training staff members there. So prayers out to him, because I understand that he is on life support. So short week for them, for both teams. So that's always a tough spot for any team. You just played Sunday, and especially if you travel too. So the Cowboys ended up getting back home late, probably well into Monday morning, wee hours of Monday morning. They probably came in, got treated, didn't do anything on Tuesday. They probably started game planning really in the Tuesday night. They're traveling today, and they play when they're not traveling, they're at home. So Washington has to do all the traveling, and they have to get ready to go. But other than that, I think it'll be a fun, exciting game. If you just don't look at the records, it should be a competitive game, because I think both teams are pretty much even as we move forward towards the end of this season. But like I said, the Baltimore and Pittsburgh game, I'll break down this game, even though it's going to be on Sunday. Pittsburgh was looking to be undefeated. They're moving to, I think, 11-0 if they were able to win this game. The all-time matchup, or the record between these 2 teams, is 22-22, ironically enough. So the winner of the Sunday night game, or excuse me, the Sunday night now, or Sunday game, would have the leg up. Excuse me. So, but Pittsburgh definitely needs to win a game like this to kind of like let everyone know, like, hey, like we're good. Like, don't sleep on us. I know that we've coasted a little bit, and we struggled with some teams that we probably shouldn't have, but they're still undefeated. They're still the top team as far as record is concerned in the NFL. And Baltimore is not in the playoffs right now. Baltimore is in the hunt. Baltimore has to throw everything at Pittsburgh, because right now they're not even in the playoffs. And Lamar Jackson is not having a great season. He's not following up his MVP year with anything sensational. If anything, he's looking worse almost every week. Or if not worse, he's staying kind of where he's at. He's not improving. We're not seeing any better throws out of him. It could be the offense. Who knows? I know their defense took a big hit. Calais Campbell didn't play. I think his name, Pat Washington, didn't play. So the interior of their defense really is not put together, and Derrick Henry was able to run all over them. But I don't know, man. But I think if I had to pick the game today, Pittsburgh wins that game. They're at home. It's Thanksgiving. They're ready to go. They're ready to go. And I think there's a lot going on with Baltimore, especially with Lamar Jackson. And I don't think that they're really that much prepared to play Pittsburgh Steelers. Sorry about that. So to wrap up the NFL, I'm going to just kind of lay out to you my top 4 NFL teams. We're going to start. I'll start from 1 to 4. So obviously, to me, Kansas City Chiefs are number 1 by far. Overall total team, they're probably the best team. Now their offense is tremendous. Their defense, they do give up some points, but they do have a pass rush. They can kind of get to you when they need to in situations. The second team is the Pittsburgh Steelers. Their defense is good, probably one of the best defenses left in the NFL. Excuse me. Ben Roethlisberger is playing really good. He's moving the ball around. I wish they would get their running game up a little bit more. That does concern me with them, that they're not able to run the ball effectively as they used to, because we all know that that's what Pittsburgh does. They run the football. That's what they do. They run the football, and they get after your quarterback. They haven't been able to run the ball effectively enough, consistently enough, but they are passing the ball, and having Ben Roethlisberger and not Duck Hodges back there does make a big difference. I mean, Chase Claypool, is that his name? Yeah, he's looking good, man. They found another receiver in him. It's not Chase Claypool. His last name's Claypool, but I forgot his first name. But the rookie out of Notre Dame is looking really good. Juju Smith is quietly having a really solid season. And the other guy, James Washington, they're all having a great year. So that's my second team. The third team are the New Orleans Saints, even without Drew Brees. Taysom Hill put on a really good performance the other day against the Atlanta Falcons. He showed that he can play in the NFL. Now, we'll have to see. He has to, I think Denver, I don't know if they go to Denver, but they're playing Denver. But then I know after that, they're following up. They have to travel to Atlanta. And Atlanta will be ready for Taysom Hill if Taysom Hill is still the starter by then, because now they'll have tape. They can game plan for him a little bit more. It was a very smart move. It surprised me because last week I was talking to you guys about Jameis Winston and what he has to do in order to help the New Orleans Saints win and solidify his spot. But he didn't even get the start. Taysom Hill got the start, right? So that's very interesting. But I see why now, because Jameis Winston struggles against the Atlanta Falcons even when he was a Tampa Bay Buck, and no one knows about Taysom Hill. No one knew what he could do. And he proved that he can actually throw the ball. I think he threw for over 280-something yards. He rushed for 2 touchdowns. He's a mobile quarterback. When things break down, he can do what he does, or does what he do, or does what he does, whatever, and get in the end zone. So I think that's very critical for them moving forward until Drew Brees can come back. Drew Brees will be eligible to come back in about 2 more weeks after the Falcons game, and I think they have a Sunday night matchup against Philadelphia. So we'll have to see what happens with there. But even so, I think they're still the third best team right now. Overall, in my opinion, their defense is playing really well, even with their secondary being banged up, with Lattimore being out the last game. But their defensive line, their rush defense is still really good. They're able to get after the quarterback, and that helps them. Now, a lot of you are going to be like side-eyeing me here in a minute, but the fourth team that I like, my top 4th NFL team, is the Seattle Seahawks. They're like, what? The Seattle Seahawks? Like, what? How, Ryan? How do you think that? Well, here's the thing. Russell Wilson, number 1. When I look at the NFC and the remaining like other teams that are like right there on the cusp, you got the Rams, the Bucks, those types of teams. I look at the quarterback play, and quarterbacks make the difference in the NFL. If you watch the NFL, you follow football, quarterbacks are the biggest difference. We all know that. We all understand that. And Russell Wilson is, to me, even though he had the turnovers, he's still playing better than Tom Brady. He can still go out there and win you some games. As long as he keeps the turnovers down, he'll be all right. Now, as far as the Rams could easily be in the 4th spot. And I thought about the Rams, but then I was like, I got to see Jared Goff go out and win more games like that. Now, we still got a whole month left of the season going into December. A lot can change. I mean, this is week to week. We know that. But right now, I felt like if the Seahawks played the Rams right now, and even though they just played recently and the Rams ended up winning, it was a close game. It was a close game. But if they have to go to Seattle, which the Rams will have to, that's what I want to see. I want to see that matchup. And I think that in the end, Russell Wilson will be able to get things going. And their defense, I know their defense is atrocious, but they traded for Carlos Dunlap, who's a pretty good edge rusher. He's starting to get going. We saw that in that Thursday night game against the Cardinals. He's starting to figure it out. And if they can get a decent pass rush, I think the Seattle Seahawks can actually make a nice run in the playoffs, considering their lack of defense moving on. But those are my top 4 teams. I won't spend that much time on that, but that's what it is. If you disagree, let me know. Leave it in the comments section because, hey, that's just what it is. That's what I got for you guys. So sticking in football, but we're going to transition into college football. The college football playoff rankings were listed last night. No surprise to me that Alabama number 1, Notre Dame number 2, Ohio State number 3, and Clemson number 4. No shocker. No shocker there. I think they got it right. I mean, I think Texas A&M was 5 and Florida was number 6. So, and which rightfully so because A&M beat Florida. So, I get that. But Florida's a really good team too. I think they're better than Texas A&M because they just got better. Kyle Trask is ascending. He's looking really good. I think if Florida played A&M again, they'd probably win that game. But Alabama is looking like the best team. They're undefeated. Notre Dame, and I mean, I did a segment on them last week. They're for real, man. Their offense and defensive lines can compete with the big boys, which is evident because they were able to beat Clemson. Now, they're going to have to play Clemson at some point here down the road, barring they don't lose anything or Clemson doesn't lose again. But they'll probably end up meeting in the ACC championship game. The only team that I am concerned about is Ohio State. They haven't really played anyone yet. Now, they just recently beat Indiana, who was ranked number 9 at home, and that was a close game. Now, they kind of boat showed them, a little bit. But Indiana was tough, stuck around, and was able to make that game a lot more competitive. But I felt like last year's Ohio State team was way more talented. Now, Justin Fields is having a good season, but I feel like Notre Dame can probably go and beat Ohio State. I think all the other 3 teams can go and beat Ohio State because I don't think they're that all around they're talented enough. But that's just my thought on that. But overall, I think that they got the 4 teams right, and there's not much to complain about. Now, everyone wants to expand, and we should have 8 teams, and no. Man, keep it at 4. Keep it at 4 because traditionally, these are the 4 best teams in all of the land, and they will be for the next 5-10 years. So, people, Cincinnati's undefeated, BYU, those are good teams, but let's just be honest. Can they compete with Alabama? Can they run with Clemson? I highly doubt it. These programs are traditionally not consistently that powerful. Now, every now and then they get a good class that's strong and they're able to go on runs like this. But let's just be real. Alabama is always in the contention. Clemson is always in contention. And give credit to Brian Kelly for putting Notre Dame up there now to compete. Ohio State's always in there. I read a stat like a few weeks ago in regards to the Big Ten. I think like out of 33 5-star recruits that were recruited to the Big Ten, like 28 of them play for Ohio State. So Ohio State's going to always be good. So it is what it is. But like I said, Alabama number 1, Notre Dame number 2, Ohio State number 3, and Clemson number 4. I think they got it right. And if you disagree, let me know because what other team out there should be in the in the first rankings of the Final Four? Now, like, this was only the first one, so a lot can happen between now and the playoffs before the playoffs start. So, but I feel like they got it right. They got it right. No team from the Pac-12 will compete. USC, the Oregon, sorry, they're just not going to do it. So, whoever wins the national championship is going to be in a Central Standard Time or Eastern Standard Time zone. So, but other than that, but anyway, that's it. That's all I got on college football. So the last topic of tonight, before I let you guys go, Thanksgiving Day memorable sporting moments. Let me know what you guys think. What do you remember your most memorable sporting moment? It doesn't have to be professional. It could be, you playing with your cousins and, a turkey bowl, which I'm taking part of on Thursday morning with a couple other dads from my daughter's soccer team. We're going to be out there trying not to get hurt. I got the icy hot ready to go from Costco. Got the chiropractor on speed dial. Hopefully I don't get hurt, but pray for me when it comes to that. But what is your most memorable sporting moment from Thanksgiving Day? Like anything, sporting moment wise. Was it watching a football game? Was it participating? Anything that you can think of. Leave a comment in the comment section below. Here's my thought on this. I believe you see the picture down below there. In 1994, Jason Garrett ended up starting a game for the Dallas Cowboys on Thanksgiving Day against Brett Favre and the Green Bay Packers. Now, Troy Aikman was hurt the week before, and so they were kind of questionable to see if he was going to play or not. And Rodney Peete, who was the backup at the time, he also had an injury, something to his finger. I don't remember the full exact story. I just kind of got a synopsis a few days ago. But Jason Garrett actually went into that game and basically battled it out. Like, I mean, it was crazy that you think a lot of people don't even remember that Jason Garrett was the quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, he was there. He was there. And it was such a pivotal game. I remember watching that game on TV, eating my turkey. I was already a Cowboys fan then, and I just was like, man, like, we're going to lose, bro, because, you know, we had Troy Aikman against Brett Favre, and Brett Favre, a young Brett Favre, he was a young gun. Now, the Cowboys were trailing, I believe, if my memory serves me correct, because remind you, I was like in the 5th grade or something like that. They were trailing like 17-6 or 26 in the third quarter. The Cowboys end up winning 42-31, and Jason Garrett goes down in, you know, Dallas Cowboy football lore for winning that game. His first throw officially, I remember it like it was yesterday. Michael Irvin was running like a 10-yard out. He threw it to the sideline, and he was picked off. That was his first throw of the game. And I was like, well, that's that. So, Mom, bring out the pie because this game's over. But he was able to rattle off like 5 or 6 drives where they got touchdowns and field goals, and they ended up winning the game 42-31. I'll never forget that game. I don't remember all the details, but I remember sitting down in front of our TV. Anyone had this, if you're, you know, I'm telling my age, but we had this old school TV that was like in this wooden box. It was on the ground, and I remember just eating my food and watching that game and was like, man, like, we're going to get whooped. But it was an exciting game. And I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that Thanksgiving Day. There's been other moments, but to me, that one that really resonates with me, I always remember that. I'll always remember Jason Garrett doing his thing, leading the Dallas Cowboys to a Thanksgiving Day win against the Green Bay Packers and Brett Favre. But yeah, so this Thanksgiving Day tomorrow, man, just remember that to give thanks and count all your blessings, because tomorrow is not promised today. And when you think everything is tough and life is just throwing a lot at you, especially, you know, the times that we're living in today with, you know, our politics and pandemics and all the other mental health issues that we have, or things that we got to deal with, man, it could always be worse. So tomorrow, if you're with your family, and if you can't be with your family, keep them in your prayers and in your thoughts, and just be thankful and grateful for everything that you have. I am very grateful to have everything that I have. I'm very thankful that I'm able to put on a show like this for you guys, and you guys are able to enjoy it, whether you're on the live now or you're listening later. I'm thankful for many things. And tomorrow is just another day of reflection, but just don't let it be for tomorrow. Don't think Thanksgiving is just one day. You should always give thanks for all your blessings and gifts that you have every day, each and every day. So I'll leave you guys with that. Happy Thanksgiving. And before I get out of here, I just want to give a shout out to the Nevada United 11U football team. We are playing in the championship game on Saturday. I believe that game will be streamed live on YouTube. If you follow me on Instagram, I'll leave the link. I'll leave something out there on my story or in my reels or in my feed. So you guys, if you want to check us out, it's a youth football team that I coach here in Las Vegas. We are called Nevada United 11U football team. Bunch of great kids. It was an up and down season. Some of you have seen me post on that, but we were actually able to make it to a championship type game, and we're going to be playing that Saturday at 1:30 Pacific Standard Time. So be on the lookout for that. But other than that, everyone, please, please, please have a safe and happy Thanksgiving. Love one another and be safe out there. This is Clutch Sports Talk with me, Ryan Flowers, presented by All Pro Digital Sports. Never settle till the work is done. Let's go. This edition of Clutch Sports Talk with Ryan Flowers was brought to you by All Pro Digital Sports, the future in sports media content.